Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, let me ask you a few questions. So, to all the audience in this room, are you someone actively hustling to the extent of neglecting your well being? Do you ever question yourself, why are you pushing yourself so hard? Is the outcome really worth the effort? So, these are all the typical thoughts if you are someone that's feeling lost and exhausted when you're trying to juggle with many commitments. In the conjunctions between options that are striving for excellence and maintaining a good well-being, you are not sure about how you should go about it. So if you are rational with this, please allow me to share you a story. So it happened in 4 years ago when I was still a high school graduate from a small town in Penang, trying to expose myself and explore adulting life out there. That was the time I noticed a society phenomenon that some people can achieve success with optimal effort and they don't seem like it's exhausting. Surprisingly, they are getting more and more motivated to strive for it. Unlikely, there's another group of people who has been putting a lot of effort, fully stretch out themselves with all kind of commitments and workload for the achievement. So to them, achieving goal often means to be an exhausting process when they require to sacrifice even more of it. I wasn't sure why is this happening, as I thought hard work will always pay off, success will always come later. But to me, seeing these situations, the cost of success seemed like too high when people tend to sacrifice the balance of their lifestyle. And this scenario circulated in my head for a couple of period of time. As the time went by and experiencing a few life scenarios in university, I started to realize and discover a few lessons from those people who can achieve their goal easily yet maintain a balanced lifestyle. These people are aware of striking balance between career, life, health, and their interests. And this is really, really amazing when I wonder how it's actually possible for them, right? As I used to be that kind of person with an unbalanced lifestyle, striving daily for my career goal, and often I have to sacrifice, neglect some of the priorities. So drawing from what I have experienced during university life, today I would like to share the lesson that I discovered to strike a balance by managing both workload and the effort that they put in as a university student. I wish this could help you to get most of it during the limited university time. So, my first key lesson to every audience today is to get your direction right. So define your goal properly so your effort won't be a waste. Without a clear directions, your effort won't bring any contributions to what you're trying to achieve. And in long term, it demotivates you when the outcome is not as what you're expecting. So it is very important to find your purpose and stop comparing yourself and try to get your own direction right. I understand how hard it is to determine and find the purpose of life. Sometimes it might not be right, and I definitely can get you, and I used to be that kind of person, being so lost, and future seems so vague to me, and I can't even foresee myself. So if you're someone who is lost like previous me, I would tell you, it is very, very common when you have limited exposure, as you have not been stepping off the frame and seeing what the real world is. So don't need to worry, and you can slowly find out your life purpose through new explorations and exposure. But here, what I can advise you is definitely try to utilize your time in university to explore and do something that you feel passionate about. Talk with people to learn things from different perspectives, or even try new things to validate your interests. You won't be knowing that you will find something truly love and wish to do for your entire life. But just have to remember that at this age, you have really nothing to lose. So just active exploring yourself, your interests, and your life purpose. And trust me, until a point, you will definitely find what you're truly passionate about. And probably next, you will ask me, what if you found your interest, but it keeps changing from time to time? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but what I truly believe is that it is definitely okay to change with the time passing by, as we are actually growing and getting more thoughtful and matured. So for sure, we'll be having different mindset and considerations for our life. So it is definitely Okay, but what really matters here is that you should know your purpose at this moment, as it defines your path and encompasses your journey. When I try to figure out my purpose in life, I always think from the end goal, asking myself what I really want to see myself in 5 to 10 years' time. What would I like to achieve by that time, and only work backwards to prioritize what really matters that can contribute to the success of my goal. If you have not really thought of your life purpose, please start thinking about it. It will make your life easier, and always ensure you won't be easily off track to do something which bring no contribution to your end goal. On the second part of the first point, I often realize people define their goal based on how their friend did. So they are so obsessed with people achievement, and oftentimes they have neglected what really means to them and their own life purpose. So the culture of comparison has been deeply rooted in everyone's mind since high school. So we used to compare with our friend for the academic marks, ranking, achievement in extracurriculums, number of friends, lifestyle, etc. But today, I just want to tell you, stop doing all this, as comparison is a thief of joy. Own what is true for you. You have to understand that you can't beat others at their own game, as everyone started their life and grew up in different and unfair settings, owning different life goals and especially their strength. So it doesn't make sense to compare yourself with other people in this way. But what you can compare is within yourself from the yesterday. So if you are better than today, you have already won. So in short, relating back to the main idea, you should always focus on your purpose, leveraging on your unique life experience and turning your attention inwards to develop yourself personally and professionally. Focus on your long-term goal to beat yourself and find a better you tomorrow, as you don't live to impress others, but you live to impress yourself. After understanding the directions and ensuring your efforts synergize to your goal, my experience tells me that you will need to start looking at the workload before anything else. So list out all the possible steps that you should do in order to get there, and therefore identify which step you should be prioritizing. So here comes to my second lesson of today. Always manage your priority well, so that the workload you handle is always within your bandwidth. So do you agree with me that we as a university students nowadays are more stressful? I simply feel that, as I have to struggle for many things on PLAT, which include attending lectures, actively joining extracurriculums, developing experience for internship competitions, managing friendship and relationship, and many, many more. I used to feel so exhausted in doing all this, and every time I ask myself, if this is something that really impacts me and my goal, how can I do it differently to ensure a better and balanced life while progressing to the goal? Won't you think that our life can be much more balanced if we know how to manage priority and reduce unnecessary workload? University time is so precious with just about 3 to 4 years. It is not too long, but it can dictate your personalities, your friend circle, your career interests, and many, many more. So my advice to everyone is to spend it wisely with minimum people and occasion. I used to have the dilemma in fear of missing out from my social cycle. If I did not constantly engage with them, like especially my friend, so often I ended up needing myself to handle many different engagement and affairs to maintain a relationship. And in the end, it took up most of my time and sometimes got me more and more unnecessary workload, which brought no impact to my growth. So therefore, my experience tells me that it is very worth. It is not worth it mentally and physically to simply engage with everyone in the society, but inversely make your option wisely, not just about who you mingle with, but also what you will be working on, and always make sure they are meaningful and impactful for your growth and goal. Essentially, to tie back to your life purpose, it always drew down to the question, what is your goal? Ultimately, what are you trying to achieve? What do you foresee yourself to be? And ask yourself, what do I really want? It is all about managing life priority that can contribute to the most of your purpose. And the fact is that sometimes you are not overwhelmed, you are just unorganized with your fragmented commitments. So start prioritizing and focusing. Essentially, it can bring you a balance of everything for yourself. Decide what is important and urgent right now and say no to obligation. With the right directions and focus on an impactful milestone to get there, let me share with you what are the internal and external factors that you should try to focus and leverage on to amplify your effort in achieving the balanced life. So here comes my third lesson. Thinking from an internal perspective, right, of amplifying the effort, you should always dedicate your time to arm yourself with knowledge and develop emotional intelligence to tackle the problems. Undeniably that the relevant knowledge and skill help you to handle the workload with a lesser effort. So it is really important to invest time in yourself, and you will surely notice that those high achievers spend most of the time within themselves trying to read, relearn, and reflect. They understand they have to sharpen themselves just like how the army sharpen their weapon before going into the war. So my advice here to be dedicated of educating yourself with new knowledge and skill that align with your purpose. Always keep going forward despite of the small step, as long as you are improving gradually. So the process of personal growth is often need to be highly disciplined, and it demands consistent hard work and endeavors. So it always pin down your concentrations on improving every day. So over a time, these small improvements will add up into a significant changes, which make you more ready to handle any tough and unexpected situation. Last but not least, the fourth lesson that I want to share today is the power of networking. And it could be essentially provide you direct resources to fasten the process of achieving your goal within minimal effort. So from my experience, I really found out that life is not fair, and you shouldn't just focus on working hard, but you have to learn on building networks to gain relevant resources that could fasten your progress to the goal. And based on my observation, one who are more sensible, have a better reputation and wide network of friends, tend to grab the most opportunity as compared to their normal peers. Don't blame them. They know what they want, how to get there, and then they plan ahead and build a network of people around them. They understand the network that they build can be leveraged on to get to the place that they want. So if you notice carefully, it happens quite often, and this is not just happening in our university, but also our society. You may see how people get exclusive opportunity for exchange program, access to the career insight and mentorship, being endorsed to join established company, and many more. All of this come from the power of networking. Sometimes it is not just about gaining resources from the people that you network with, but you could also learn about their meaningful life experience or even mistake that they have made, which I believe this insight can give you exposure and new angle of perspective if you encounter a similar situation in the future. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that building a network is very, very important that you need to develop since you started university, and you shouldn't disregard this as essentially in the long term, the network will be equivalent to your net worth. And the rule of thumb on networking is pretty straightforward. Just bear in mind that always being professional, open for advice, and share experience. So to conclude, by determining life purpose from various past exposure and managing your priority well, you will be definitely a good place to strive for success, which having a balanced lifestyle. And essentially, internal factor like developing the right knowledge, skill, and external factor like network with like-minded people that can help you to amplify your effort and therefore fast track yourself to the future you, being in the state that you foresee yourself doing. All in all, please bear in mind that everyone has a different life scenario. Own it and keep pacing yourself. You eventually end up somewhere else. So just do what you can with what you have and where you are. Most importantly, act now. So I hope my lesson and experience shared today enlighten you in another perspective. Thank you very much.